Hey everybody, Alex Miller at Capnion here. Now today I'm going to talk about some data breaches in the news, and this is the government data breach edition. I want to note here that I am doing this particular topic today partly just because I read the newspaper and there was a bunch of this stuff. So it's out there. I am not particularly dressing it up as a pressing issue right now. It is a pressing issue right now without me. So, what are a couple of the stories? First, just recently, the data of all the concealed carry permit holders, names and addresses, so pretty juicy stuff, and then some government, bureaucratic identification numbers related to these IDs, were all leaked and maybe have appeared on social media. They haven't cleared up exactly who did it and where the data has gone, but they've already turned up some of the data other places. It's interesting in this particular case, the government is not one monolithic entity. It's a bunch of different entities, and it doesn't always do a good job moving data around and communicating with itself. So in this story, the Justice Department was trying to set up a portal that gave different dashboards of information about firearms in the United States. And somebody screwed up designing this portal, and all the sensitive information was publicly available. So maybe if you're watching this, you probably had some kind of connection with IT at a large organization. Maybe if you've had this experience, you can imagine that large organizations are sometimes not good at IT. If you're an American, you might believe ideologically the government just sucks at everything. I'm not going to endorse that, but I noticed that large organizations do sometimes suck at things. Anyway, the government's got a lot of data. They were trying to show the government's data to another part of the government. They screwed it up and they showed everybody, and now that's out there to worry about. This is a very new story, by the way. I think more information is going to come out about it. In a particular story, it was actually discovered by threat intelligence researchers at the cryptocurrency exchange Binance that there was a database of billions of records with very sensitive personal information for sale on the dark web. And this one also is still under investigation, and the whole story is not available, but hackers have claimed that it came from the Shanghai National Police database, which I guess they claim to have penetrated. In any event, given that this database has literally billions of records, there's only so many places you can find entities that are capable of gathering information on billions of people. There's not that many places to find billions of people. So this is another example of the government has all this data and is trying to do things with it, and it can screw up in the same way that a private business can screw up. Finally, I want to take both these stories and I want to point out that lots of other narratives you might have about politics, about your relationship with the government, at some point they pick up data security wrinkles. So if you were concerned about gun rights, you might not like more than everybody else that all this information about who has a concealed carry permit is now just out there in the hands of criminals, no less. And, think about it, names and addresses. Guns are one of the most popular targets of burglary, if not the most popular target. And if you have a concealed carry permit, you probably have a gun in your house, and then your name and address is listed in that database. That's really great intel for organized crime, unfortunately. By the same token, you hear all the time about surveillance in China. A lot of concerns about, is that trending in an ever more dystopian direction? Well, one byproduct of collecting all this data on your citizens is you might turn out to be a dork and lose it. And it seems like that is what has happened in this case. So that's heavy stuff. It's not just businesses that screw this stuff up. It's the government too, all over the world. There's going to be more stories like this for sure.